This is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Core Class Starscream. I picked up this figure from our toys. Let's get him out of packaging. And here is Core Class Starscream out of packaging. Robot mode looks pretty nice, pretty sweet. Just wish the wings would have found a way to just be inverted. Instead of the underside being here, it would have been reversed. Would have been really nice. They could have done that. I'll talk more about the engineering later on in the video, but suffice to say, the robot mode looks pretty neat. It works. I mean, it's Starscream. This is basic G1 Starscream, and I don't know. Probably the only way they could have improved this is if they could have given him a waist joint, a waist swivel. I think that's probably, and as I mentioned, the wings. The weapons love to pop off. I don't know why. It's like on my copy, they just, at least on this right shoulder, it just loves to pop off. This one, yeah, at times. I think the peg hole, that hexagon peg hole is just way too small. But suffice to say, the details looking good. Just enough paint apps to give you a rendition of Starscream. On my copy of the figure, there are some minor quality issues, like the red paint bleeding with the silver on those intake right there. The yellow paint, not as perfect as I want it to be. But other than that, it's pretty cool. Lots of details with the robot mode, and yeah. As a robot, it does its job to be G1 Starscream. Okay, articulation. The head is on a swivel, no waist swivel. It's got a ball jointed shoulder, ball jointed elbow, ball jointed hips, ball jointed knees. So traditional Legends class type of articulation. The ankles are rocked a little bit, like 15 degrees. Instead of giving us an actual rocker joint, it's already molded so that you don't have to tilt the ankle. So you just put his legs apart, and then that's how the ankles are tilted. So, okay, pretty good. For some size comparisons, here he is with Optimus Prime, Core Class Optimus Prime, and Buzzworthy Bumblebee, which is essentially, I guess, the Core Class Bumblebee. He's not in perfect scale, but he's in good scale with Optimus Prime. Pretty happy with that. And here he is with his bigger version counterpart, the Earthrise Starscream. Basically, you have all the elements shrunk down to this figure. Less articulation, but the details, representation of the character is all there. Transformation for Starscream. It's a little bit involved. I was actually very surprised. I was curious as how they were going to do this, but it's a little too involved for me. We'll talk more about that as we go along. So first thing, you want to do, get rid of the weapons. You can keep them on if you want to, but they're going to just end up popping off. So first step is this one. The chest cavity, you open up to reveal the matrix of leadership. No, I'm kidding. Fold down the head and the shoulders and that nose cone, just like that. And then the wings are going to fold up this way. The arms are going to fold out all the way out like that. The legs, just fold them down a little bit this way so you can give room for the wings to turn. That was pretty ingenious, I think. Not necessary, but I don't know why they wanted it that way. It's a clever way to transform the wings, but let's just get on with the transformation for now. Tab it in like this. Okay, and then these, the shoulders are going to tab onto those really thin pegs right there. The instructions tell you everything. They take great pains to tell you how to tab and untab things, but they miss out on that little detail that you have to do this. Okay, and then the nose cone is going to tab in like that. Rotate the neck or the head so it doesn't show up, and then just hide that head right there underneath that nose cone. Okay, and pretty much all you got to do is fold these right here, and they're going to tab onto those slots right there on the on the knees, I suppose. Come on. Okay. And then the tail fins, just pop them up and then snap like that. Snap, fold them down like this. And then the arms, you're going to rotate the forearms this way and then peg them onto the underside of the wings, just like that. And I guess the guns go back on the shoulders. And there you go. There is Starscream in his F-15-ish jet mode. It's actually pretty good. It looks great. The feet, nothing you could do about that. I wish they could have folded up, but I don't think there was any way they could have fixed that. If they had put a hinge, it would have popped up this way. It would have been it would have been very awkward on the rear end. I think this is as good as it gets. The arms underneath the wings doesn't bug me as much. It's really this faux chest and that whole twisting wing assembly that really bothers me. I think I like the fact that they're giving a lot of effort into designing the engineering of these smaller scaled figures. I do appreciate that, but I just think, just like Cliff Jumper, they overthunk the engineering for this transformation. Could have easily done the whole G1 transformation. I don't know why they didn't go that way. They could have easily found a way to tuck this in right there, maybe fold it a little bit, and but I guess the proportions would be wrong in robot mode. You wouldn't get a better alt mode this way. I don't know. I don't mean to sound that I'm complaining again about this. I think it's a decent enough Starscream figure for this scale. I just think the transformation isn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be. And so some final thoughts on this figure. I think both modes are great. Robot mode and jet mode, they both do their job. It does the job of depicting the G1 styled Starscream. I just think the engineering was overthunked and overthought of. I wish it could have been a little bit more simple, and I wish the engineering went the way of this figure, the traditional G1 style transformation, much like what they did with Optimus Prime and to a certain extent Bumblebee. That whole twisting assembly, I don't know, for such a small figure, a little bit too involved, wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be. So with that, I'm going to give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. Both the robot mode and the alt mode really carried this figure. It's just a shame the engineering for me was less than perfect and not as enjoyable as I thought it would be. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this figure. Is it something worth getting, do you think? If you're a big Starscream fan, do you think it's something you need in your collection? Hit me up in the comment section, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. If you want to help the channel out, please check out my Patreon account. There's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching.